Episode 65 now of season 2 of the Thursday podcast is finally live. What's going on, everyone? I'm Nate, joined by my guy Brian Germinaro as always. Happy Thursday to y'all. Um, Football really doesn't die, honestly, in the off season. I think this whole news that came out in the last 24 hours about a couple of key players plus all the re-signings and everything, it just reminds me of why I love the NFL so much, because like anything could freaking happen, man.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
did anyone really expect DK Metcalf to request a trade? No. Joey Bosa? Yeah, but
Jonathan Allen is most likely on his way out of Washington.
oh really? Why does
I
he want to
I, I
go?
don't know. I saw they're trying to trade him, and if they don't, they're gonna cut him.
Oh crap. Hey man. And then you have the Giants, who we've talked about have been making headlines for
The wrong reasons.
pretty much. We re-signed somebody, just not who.
Yeah, you're bearing the lead. We brought him back.
Right. And I was low-key thinking about our long snapper. But yes, Tommy DeVito did come back.
We have a quarterback on the roster, guys. We officially have a quarterback for next season.
I believe it's
We'll
called
be holding open tryouts in the parking lot.
Exclusive free agent contract we signed him to.
It's
So
stupid. Their version of RFA is how I kind of do it. Or like
so
arbitration.
basically signing him to a contract for people that suck.
Basically, is he didn't have a team to go. He didn't have a contract, but he didn't have another team to go to. So it's just like, okay, it's either you're gonna play for the Giants or you're not gonna play football next year.
Yeah, ain't no one wanted him anyway. Let's be honest. So,
I think a team would have taken a shot on him. Are you telling me like a team like the Browns or like a struggling team for the publicity wouldn't have taken a shot on like just a 1-year deal for him to be a backup?
yeah, I just outside of what the Green Bay game, almost 2 years ago.
I know, but like it's the like when you think of Tommy DeVito, that's where your mind goes. So, like people are like, all right, we'll sign DeVito just as like the third stringer, and like it'll just be, oh, we got Tommy DeVito, he's fun. Remember Sopranos?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just look, the DeVito thing was fun, but I'm just like, if we're gonna be taken seriously, like we can't be.
We can't be doing gimmicks.
Exactly. So, you know what? Maybe I'm just grumpy today because the fact that we'll talk about it at the end of the show. Plus, our top 5 list is coming back, as Brian mentioned on Tuesday. We're doing our top 5 people that we want to buy the Giants because, as we discussed last week, 10% of the Giants is on sale, I guess is the right word. So we'll give our thoughts on that at the end of the show. But yeah, today running back rankings. Next week is wide receivers, followed by tight ends the week after. But today is the running backs. It's pretty clear who's number 1, but who falls behind them? We'll talk about that in just a bit. And then we'll cover the early free agency news with DK Metcalf asking for a trade, Joey Bosa being released, and Gardner Minshew also going to be released as well. Not me acting like that's big news, but the Raiders that's one step into being taken seriously, it seems like. So
they're going for a quarterback in this draft. They're going to come away with one of the guys.
Mm-hmm. I honestly, if the chips do fall where they may, I think they go Jeanty first round.
I don't know. If the rumors around Shedeur are true, that's the spot he's going.
I know he has been falling a lot in some mock drafts.
He won't fall farther than 7 though. If he does fall, the Raiders will take him.
Some mock drafts have Shedeur fall into like 20 and 30.
No, that's a little. I think he is falling because I don't think he came off well in draft interviews. But to say he's going to fall out of the top 10 in a quarterback weak draft where there is teams that need quarterbacks, he's not going past 7.
Do you mind if we start with that real quick before we go to the running back?
Yeah, let's go.
I think with Shedeur, it's like I don't get it. Like he just has this swag about him. Okay, just because he wore his hat backwards at
Mm-hmm.
interviews. Really? That's why we're gonna. I mean, I'm not saying it's all the reason why.
No, but it's a
Like
bad look because like teams consider this like a job interview. Like, would you go into a job interview with a hat like that?
no, but like
I'm not saying that should be the
yeah,
reason he falls. I'm just like playing devil's advocate. Like, if you're going to job interview, there should be some professionalism. Like, you wear a hat, wear it like this, wear it completely backwards. You know, I think
yeah.
like that just sent a wrong message. And I think like his swagger and confidence can come off as arrogant and like, brash and stuff like that.
I just think you know you think of or you look at everything of Sanders' resume. He's the son of Deion Sanders, played for 3 schools. You know, sure his talent was great, but the fact that he's Deion's son, plus the negative things that he did in college, from not shaking that Colorado State's quarterback's hand to
Mm-hmm.
criticizing his offensive line for a week. It's
The
like all
Nebraska
these
thing, we walked
small,
off the field early, ball boy
mhm. Like,
thing.
all, like all these small
It
things.
seems small, but when you add them all up, it's like, okay, we're noticing a trend here. This can work when you're at Colorado College and your dad is the coach. That's not going to fly in the NFL.
Hmm. But I think for the Giants, right? It's like, if Shadur is there, are we really not going to take him because of that? Because if we don't, and we're like, oh no, we won't get Shadur, we want to get Jackson Dart because he didn't do the stuff that Shadur did, that's when I'll be pissed off. Because it's like, as an organization, why are we always trying to find the good guy? Why are we always trying to find the guy who, you know, looks good, dresses up nice for interviews, has a quiet demeanor to him. Like, why are we all, if we don't draft Shadur, if he's there, I'm just saying, if he's there at 3, whatever the case may be, and we don't get him, we draft someone else, it's gonna be the same trend that's been going on for what,
Decade
10,
and a half,
15
yeah.
years? Eli was a quiet guy. I didn't mind that because he backed it up with this play. After Eli, okay, we got Daniel Jones, quiet dude, trash.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy DeVito, good dude,
I think
trash.
Tommy DeVito's the most swagger quarterback we've had.
Yeah, and that's saying something because the
Yeah,
dude,
and it's not much, but like you knew him more for his off the field stuff than you did what he's on the field stuff.
correct. So I don't know. I just think the whole Shadur hate is a bit much. If he was Shadur Johnson or something, the hate
I
would
don't
be
know.
less.
I think if Shadur Johnson, he might be criticized more. I think people are making more excuses because he's Deion's son, which causes more popularity.
Yeah. I don't know. I love him as a prospect. I love him as a person. The Giants clearly love him too.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I think they're more in love with Cam Ward right now.
yeah,
If the
it's
reports are true and the way they're talking with the Titans, I think they're in love with Cam Ward.
yeah, and I think a lot of teams are enamored by Cam Ward. I mean, he is, and I hate to say it because I love Shadur. Cam Ward is out of all the quarterbacks, the most QB1 ready
Yeah,
from the jump.
if I want one guy starting next year, I think Cam Ward's the only guy that could start Week 1 next year. The only guy I feel confident starting Week 1 next year.
So not
And
Shadur.
even Shadur, I think Shadur's good enough to start next year, but I think he needs some time on the bench first.
Okay. And why is that, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't know. I just think like just something about him just like feels he needs to adopt the NFL more. He's used like a veteran just in his ear for like just like a month or so. Like, okay, this is how you do it, and then him go out there and do it. Where like I feel like Cam Ward can't jump in. Shadur needs to mature just a little bit.
Okay. I get you. I get you. I just want to see
Yeah.
where your mind was at, was all.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think for me, yeah, Cam Ward's QB1 ready. I think Shadur, to me, off the jump too, you ready to go. Anyone else after that, you better
No,
bench them
like
because they are not rare.
Dart maybe in
Oh,
like week 15 next year, week 16 next year. Like
mm-hmm.
he's gonna sit like the whole season, and then maybe if you're out of it, you throw him in there for a couple games just to see what you have. But outside of that, like, I don't really see him starting at all next year.
Nah, just to me, it's the two quarterbacks, and then after that, everyone's
benching
on
for
the
at least
bench
a season,
1
maybe
year,
2.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, I think once you get past like probably Dart, it's 2 seasons. Leonard, I do 2 seasons. Howard's 2 seasons. Milroe's 2 seasons.
They need time. You rush them.
Yeah, you rush those guys. They could be good quarterbacks, but they're gonna need a lot of time on that bench. They need the Aaron Rodgers treatment.
Yes, they need time. You rush them. You give. You're basically replicating the Anthony Richardson situation.
Mm-hmm.
AR was not ready from day one. Colts rushed him to be the starter, and look at him now. Colts already saying
AR should have gone 4 overall.
No, sir.
He was not a good college quarterback. He just looked like a good quarterback.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and even now, like the Colts kind of, I look, you think they regret taking him.
Oh, there's some buyer's remorse. A lot of buyer's remorse. Now, if Richardson was taken like the late first round, second round, it's okay.
No
it's
one's complaining.
It's whatever. Yeah. It's just like he went 4, and it's what 3 years in the league now.
Correct.
And he's shown nothing. It's like, you're gonna be 4th overall. We need to see some steps.
Same thing with the Giants.
Yeah.
Jones at 6.
Yeah, exactly. Jones should never been taken. If Jones taken at like 56th, different story. We're having a different discussion around him.
I would not be criticizing him.
No.
Or anyone would be criticizing him.
He probably doesn't get 6 years either. He probably only gets the 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Because it's like, okay, second round pick. And that's 3 years of play. Average to below average play. Let's move on.
It's easy to move on.
Wish we could go back in time and change it. But we cannot.
Oh, if we go back in time to change it, we're drafting, probably like Josh Allen Hines at 6.
Oh, man, he would
solve a lot of problems.
That's where
the bad part is we probably draft like Herbert at 4 in 2020, so we lose Andrew Thomas. But I'm willing to sacrifice Andrew Thomas for Justin Herbert.
Me too. Herbert, man.
Herbert was the guy. Herbert, if you talk to anyone in 2019, Herbert, if Herbert goes out in 2019 like he was supposed to, he's a giant quarterback right now. They were in love with him.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what. There may be only 2 quarterbacks in this draft that can start from day one, but the running backs in this year's draft class, they are ready to go. Especially our number 1 guy. Let's be honest, we might as well spoil it. It's Ashton Jeanty, who is the best running back in this draft. But we will do our due diligence.
If anyone ever tells you otherwise, it's not Jeanty, they don't know ball.
They don't. Either that or they're a biased UNC fan, a hater of the Mountain West Conference, which you shouldn't be because
the Mountain West is awesome. If you hate lower conferences, you just don't like football. Lower conferences are MAC football is like the most fun I have watching football. Tuesday night MAC games is great.
I don't know where what you could like.
It's such genius marketing too. It's like, how do we get people to care about this? Let's throw it on Tuesday and Wednesday night when there's nothing else on TV. All right, I'm gonna watch Central Michigan and Ohio. Nothing else is on.
That's what I'm saying. Like Ball State versus Buffalo on a
that's Wednesday awesome. And it's just gonna be like, this is gonna be disgusting football. This will be disgusting. This is gonna be so much fun.
It's like teams that no one cares about playing throughout the week.
No one cares about. Half the roster is gonna be accountants one day, working at Liberty Mutual or something.
Like these guys aren't gonna make the NFL, but
it's D1 football.
It's football. It's D1 football.
It's D1 football, and you can bet on it.
And it gives us something to watch. More importantly, during the middle of the week, instead of waiting for Fridays and Saturdays.
Instead of watching, The Office for the 50th time, you'll watch football.
Ooh, speaking about The Office, before we get to running backs, I've been watching that a little bit. I finished most of season 1.
Is this your first time watching it?
That is correct. Yes.
Wow.
I'm very behind.
Okay.
I'm very behind.
Jealous. Very jealous. I watched The Office when I was a freshman in high school, and it was one of my favorite. It still is one of my favorite shows of all time.
I'm behind, bro.
Yeah. I probably watched The Office through about 4 times.
Jeez.
Not like in order, like bouncing around. Like I watched it like from start to finish probably once. And then like from bouncing around episodes, I've watched it all.
I feel like that's the same thing for me with Family Guy.
Yeah,
I know we talked
exactly.
about it before, but like Family Guy has just been my show, man. Like so I feel like I've seen all the episodes at least once, whether it's been by TV or by Hulu. But now I always love bouncing around on YouTube. There's always like, especially like late at night, there's always like these full like 4 to 5 hour videos.
Yes,
of just
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Like, when they're zoomed in sometimes to
the
avoid any
thing?
copyright.
You have to get the copyright.
Yeah.
Or TikTok where the guys the games on the bottom and then the Family Guy clips on top.
Yes. Yes.
Those are dangerous.
I applaud those people. They have guts for doing so, and because they can also get taken down. Or
I mean, they're doing something illegal. They are pirating. It is illegal what they're doing.
Get away with this. So I applaud that. I think it helps us out.
Yeah.
There's especially during the college football season on YouTube. I always see like, oh, Alabama versus Auburn live.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this? And it's actually the whole game on ESPN. I'm just like, how do you do this? And then it's crazy how they do it. Oh, do I want to snitch? Yeah, sure, whatever. I'm not gonna get in trouble. So basically,
we don't do it.
At the beginning of the stream, they show this, and I'm not even kidding, a Vietnamese person like talking about like art. Or
yes,
I swear, out of all the people, bruh, it's my people. So they,
at the end of the game too, they pop back up.
Exactly.
It's the beginning and the end, and in the middle of the game.
As they're transitioning to the next game on the stream.
Yeah.
And I love reading the comments. Everyone's like, "What is this?" And I'm just like, "Y'all just
bro." I got a buddy that does that. And I was at his house, and we were watching the games, and I fell asleep. Like I fell asleep during it, and I woke up to that. I'm like, what the hell are we watching right? I thought we were watching football, and my buddy goes, give about 5 minutes, football will come back on. I'm like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean?
I don't know. Watch this Vietnamese dude talk about art.
I was so confused. I'm like, we were just watching. I was not asleep that long. It was the fourth quarter 10 minutes ago.
He was like, just wait. And then look, next thing you know,
it's
Notre Dame versus Indiana. It's like Notre Dame versus Indiana. Here we go. It's like, oh yeah, I bet. But yeah, shout out to the people, man, who do the streams. It's very much appreciated, especially for me, because I don't have cable. So yeah. But anyways, to the draft. Last week we did quarterbacks. That was fun. But now we are on to running backs. So I don't know how many running backs you have on your list. I have 7, but like it's more like the 6 and 7 spots are like real quick honorable mentions.
Okay, yeah. I have 5. I don't have any honorable mentions.
Okay. If you were to pick one off the top of your head, who would be number 6? You don't have to give a full analysis.
Gotta pull it up again.
I do apologize.
No, you're good. You're good. I probably would go with Brashard Smith out of SMU.
Okay. No particular. I think he's a power back.
Yeah, I like. He's 5'10", 196.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. When I think of SMU, just think of that Penn State game. They got murdered.
Yeah,
Kevin Jennings was shivering, dude. And look, I get it. All right, like you play in the ACC, you're not used to Penn State weather, but come on, man. The pregame when he was like hands in his pockets, talking with whoever was interviewing him, he looked cold, and I'm like, fudge, he's screwed, ain't he? And then he came out.
Like, look at Tua. Tua's our one warm weather, cold weather games. Like, you have to play in cold to be a good football team.
That is, even to be like a good quarterback, you just have to play in the cold.
Yeah, like Alabama and the SEC and like Southern schools are so lucky that a lot of bowl games are played in like the South and warm weather climates. Because like, if Alabama had to travel to like Indianapolis or like the Shoe or the Big House to play some of those bowl games, they would not have as many titles as they do.
Speaking of the horseshoe, we got to do our top 5 favorite stadiums one day.
Yeah.
What's the best stadium to play at?
To play at?
I'm thinking Beaver Stadium.
Beaver Stadium, Rose Bowl.
Rose Bowl is beautiful. It is a beautiful sight to see. I will say that. That's my dream one day to go there.
Yeah, no, I'd love to
Always
go
a
to the
beautiful
Rose Bowl
place.
one day.
Man, it's a beautiful stadium.
Mm-hmm.
The Rose Bowl. And it's in Southern Cal. Oh, I love SoCal. Love SoCal. But anyways, okay. But Rashard Smith, good back. It's honestly such a deep class.
It is. It really is.
I think if we possibly go running back in the late rounds, I would not be mad at it because there's going to be plenty of talent to choose from. But yes, Smith, good choice. We might as well start with you anyway, since we're on the topic.
Right.
So you give us Smith. Who does your top? What is your top 5?
So we're doing 5-1.
Yes, we are.
All right. Number 5 is I think the guy whose stock jumped the most during the college football playoffs, and that's Cam Scabato. Scabato? That's how you say his name?
Scabo, all the things.
The ASU kid. The kid from ASU that ran all over everybody was awesome. Great compact muscular frame, good footwork, sudden and sharp acceleration. When he's got a run lane that falls apart, he can change direction pretty good and not have a problem. Good at breaking tackles. And can be used in the passing game. Like, he's a good kind of safety blanket for a quarterback, whether it be like on a flat route or it goes on a swing. Only problem is has had ball security issues. He's only really good in the passing game if he's got like a great quarterback back there. Like if he had Jalen Milroe back there who just cannot hit that short pass like we talked about last week, he would struggle in that offense. And the heavy involvement could potentially open the door for some injuries and potentially could, kind of limit him, which is also, but that's something for all running backs. The pro comp I liked was Jalen Warren. I've seen a lot of people say him, the Steelers running back, like that a lot. Number 4, Trayvon Henderson, the Ohio State running back, slides from gap to gap pretty well. So that's a good lateral movement. So like, he gets the ball and he wants to go left and there's no hole there, but there's a hole on the right, he can easily go the other way. He can read blocking really well, which helps, knowing which lane to run through. Hasn't fumbled in 3 years. Like, I feel like that's something we don't talk about. 3 years of not fumbling as a running back is very impressive. So that could something that, if you want a guy to just good ball security, go for him. He builds up speed as he runs. So, like, he doesn't have that one gear. He can go to that second and third gear and kind of burn people out. And he's a good route runner, which, like I said, running backs can be involved in passing games, whether it be just, a safety net for a quarterback or as a big-time game getter. Only issue is he's slightly undersized for a heavy workload, which means he can't be a bell cow back, but can be a good, running back by committee. Not really creative enough to get big gains. Like, he's not going to spin and juke and do all that stuff. And he gets hit at the line of scrimmage a lot and doesn't really break off of it. So those would be my only concerns of him. Number 3 is Caleb Johnson, the kid from Iowa. Tyler Algier is his pro comp. I think, Tyler Algier got a raw deal in Atlanta because they drafted Bijan Robinson. Tyler Algier was a really good running back for the Atlanta Falcons his rookie season. Good size, good athletic frame, is a patient runner with a constant tempo, is able to read blocking as they develop, and can break tackles. So if anyone wants a running back that's got a little power behind him and can break tackles, this is your kid. Only problem is he lacks acceleration and cannot be trusted when it comes to the blocking game. So if you have a third down play and you want a 3rd and 7 and you're going to do a medium to short pass and you want to run him out there for as a blocking back, you can't do that. That's not Johnson's game, which, it does hurt him a little bit, especially because the running back has become part of the blocking game. Number 2 is the kid from UNC, Oman Hampton. Ramondre Stevenson is his pro comp. A running back I like a lot. I've always picked Stevenson up in fantasy. I know it's kind of not the rule because you're not supposed to draft Patriots running backs, but he was a guy I could always count on. He's a big back. He's got decent, burst as an off-tackle runner. He runs square and through tackles, so he can make, he's good at taking hits and going through them. He'll get you the most he can have. Like, he's going to fight for every single yard he has. That is someone I want. I want a fighter who's just going to go. Only issue is he has problems, finding running lanes, which leads to him running into blockers, which will hold him back. Below average speed when he tries to get to the outside, so he's not going to make the home run run where you kind of hand it off to him. He tries to get to the outside. That's not what we're going to get. We're going to get more of a bruiser who's going to go right down the middle. And then find number one, it's Ashton Jeanty. If it's not Ashton Jeanty, I don't know what you're talking about. The dude is compared to LaDainian Tomlinson, one of the best running backs of the 21st century. All right? Come on. What do I need to say about him? He had 50-plus rushes in 9 of 14 games. Great change of direction. Great feet. Trust play design. Great burst. The only issue I have with Jeanty is he had so much of a workload in 2024 that it could affect his NFL game. But, that's not a major concern to have. I think he's a slam dunk prospect.
The key word there is he could.
He
could struggle because of that workload, but it's he has so many good things about him. It's workload, whatever. He's still day one, not generational by any means, but he is such a dangerous.
If you're picking him in the first 10, you're stupid. But if it's mid-teens, early 20s, you pick Jeanty up, that's a great pick for you.
Great pick. Dallas is obviously a team that stands out.
Dallas, me and my buddy I've talked about, it's it feels like a match made in heaven, Dallas and Jeanty.
Mm-hmm. But there have been reports saying that they don't want to go get him. So it's
yeah.
The Cowboys are just thinking out. But I could see him going as early as the Raiders. I think you get him and you get a QB in round 2, plus maybe a free agent quarterback with the Raiders. I think they're ready.
So you get Aaron Rodgers, you bring in Jeanty, and you draft Dart in the second round. And that's
Correct.
The Raiders draft.
I think that would be a successful offseason. You solve your RB1 issue that was glaring last year, and you get a quarterback plan for the present and for the future.
Mm-hmm. You got good pass catchers, and you got Brock Bowers, you got Jacoby Myers. They still have Jacoby Myers, right? He didn't get cut.
They do, yes, they do. They're looking to trade Michael Mayer though.
So. That's fine. I take him.
Yep. I know you
get him off the Raiders. He does not fit the Raiders with Bowers.
No. Yeah, I think when Bowers came in, Mayer was completely removed from the game plan.
Here, simple. Michael Mayers for Dan Bellinger, straight up. Do it in a second.
Straight up. Man.
Makes sense. Both mid-round tight ends.
Oh yeah, Mayer was round 2, right? Wasn't he?
Mayer was round 2, late round 2.
But what do you see in him?
I watched him for 4 years at Notre Dame, and this guy was the heart and soul of the passing game. He was just an aggressive guy that went up for every single ball, and he brought it down. He's a guy that's going to put his heart and soul on the line for every ball he can catch. That's a perfect kind of mentality to have as your tight end. And he's decent in blocking games.
You think he's someone that still has potential left in him or something?
Oh, yeah. He's still pretty young. It's only year 3, so he's still got something left.
Yeah, Raiders drafted him around 2. It's and then the year after that was nah, we'll get this on the Bowers. Yeah, there you go. But all right, heck of a list. I like it. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty much sort of the same.
I'm pretty sure you're in line with it.
Yeah, Scatterbo not on my 5, but he's number 8 on my list. Mm-hmm. My honorable mentions 6 and 7 spots are filled by Judkins and Henderson. For me, Henderson injuries kind of scare me a little bit, but he has elite acceleration that stands out to me. That can turn to home run plays. He's a good pass protector, has great contact balance. He's a pretty solid build back. Just the injuries that kind of scare me because of his durability concerns, especially in 22 and 23 when he missed games. So, and last year, when he was healthy for most of the year, right, he was splitting carries with Judkins, who I have at 6 in terms of my running back list. So, I'm looking forward to see what Henderson can do with the RB1 type of workload. And if he can stay healthy while doing that, but he's a good back. Yeah, Jenkins at 6, great contact balance, just like his teammate Anderson. Had 14 touchdowns last year for Ohio State. Great vision. To me, it's like the lack of top end speed. So it's like he breaks out into the open field, but he doesn't convert those into like home run touchdowns all the time or home run plays in general. So that kind of was He's not a multiple cut type of guy. He can be overly patient at times. So, but to me, like he's a good back. He's played under 2 systems in his career. Played for Ole Miss and played for the Buckeyes. Like it shows his versatility. But I just want to keep those short for those 6 and 7 spots that I have on my list. But number 5, I have Devin Neal. Played for Kansas. Joined the team when they were at rock bottom. He helped them reach their first bowl game his sophomore season. His junior season where he kind of started to break out a little bit at that 224-yard performance against Oklahoma State. And then in last year had over 1,200 yards and 16 touchdowns in his senior season, finishing his career breaking multiple records at Kansas. Quick first step that Neal has great breakaway speed, had 115 runs of 10 plus yards throughout his career. So he can make big plays. Great change of direction, one cut ability, and durable. 40 consecutive games started without missing time due to injury during his time at Kansas. So he is very durable. Now, there's a reason why he's at 5. He's not a true receiving threat. The contact balance is kind of an issue compared to Judkins and Henderson, like I discussed earlier. So he kind of usually goes down after first contact, so not a great tackle breaker to a fault. He can be erratic with his decision making between the tackles. So he can, like you mentioned with some of the backs you mentioned, he likes to bounce to the outside rather than trust the guys on the inside. But he's a good change of pace back who, you start his career in the NFL as a guy you can bring in for, kind of like a Sonic type of back. And then if you have a Knuckles, that'd be nice. But he does have a well-rounded skill set that can turn into an RB1, just not immediately in year 1 or year 2. Maybe just with some time and some development, you can get yourself a solid RB1. That's pretty fast. Number 4, Dylan Sampson for me. 3-star recruit, speedster guy, exceptional burst through the hole that we saw in Tennessee. Has a second gear in terms of his acceleration. Had over 1,400 yards in 2024 and 22 touchdowns as a junior for Tennessee. Excellent vision and good decisiveness, but there are some concerns with his undersized, 190 pounds that he is, some ball security issues, and his limited experience as a wide receiver or receiving threat, I should say, are a bit concerning. Now, he is lightning quick, and I think the ball security issues that people criticize him for are a bit too much because they come from fighting for extra yardage rather than like protecting the ball or rather than just regular fumble issues. Like if you're fighting for extra yards and you fumble, yes, that's bad, but not as bad as just like simply running normally and then some guy just hits the ball out of you. Like, how to protect the football. It's just you have to know when to be careful when you're fighting for extra yards is what we need from Sampson. And, in terms of receiving skills, it's more like a lack of a route tree. That's why he's, not much of a receiving threat there. But, like, he's ready for carries from day one. But just like Neal, I think he's a good change of pace back to start his career and then can develop into that true RB1. Just needs some time. Number 3, Caleb Johnson, who is the most prolific rusher in Iowa school history, broke our freshman record with 779 yards in 2022, and just over time developed into an outstanding back at 23 total touchdowns last year for the Hawkeyes. Finished with over 2,700 yards in his career, 6th most in school history, and averaged 6 yards per carry in 2024, which led the Big Ten. So he has great plant and go ability. He will lean forward to get extra yardage when need to. He runs at a low pad level, which is good. Impressive burst and was a workhorse. And when I mean a workhorse, I mean late in games, you want this guy running the football. Average 5.8 yards per carry in the fourth quarter, not the whole game, in the fourth quarter. So, like, if the Hawkeyes needed to run the football down to control the clock and end the game, they gave the ball to Mr. Johnson. Now, his top end speed is good, but not great. So that's kind of, I like my backs to be fast, have some speed to him, got some juice. He doesn't really have that in a way. His creativity is kind of limited once like the hole is clogged. He kind of just, it's hard for him to kind of be able to bounce to the outside in a way or like have that quick decision to do so, I guess. But there's no doubt he has legitimate RB1 status from day one. Like you bring him in, you start him day one because he has the vision. His ability to cut and finish with his power. He's still developing as a receiver, of course, but he has his burst and like the ability to finish deep into games where it's like, we want this guy to run the football, especially in November, December, when the weather gets cold. You got to run the football more. You want this guy back there carrying the ball, and his ball security issues, not much of a problem. So plus his size, vision, production during his time at Iowa, out of the guys outside of Jeanty, he's a safe RB1. He's the safest RB1 to me, in my opinion. But I do have him at 3. Number 2, Amarion Hampton from the Tar Heels, over 5,300 yards in high school, 88 touchdowns as well in high school. So very impressive stuff. Starting in high school, chose the Tar Heels over Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State. And he was a very good back for North Carolina in the ACC. In his career, finished with over 2,900 yards and 30 touchdowns. He's a violent finisher. He will fall forward through contact exceptionally. He takes contact really good. Has elite burst, reliable hands. He's good at getting through tight creases. Now, he can get too upright at times. He does like creativity and space. So it's like he's not much of an outside type of back. There's backs who don't trust their line and just bounce to the outside and trust their speed. He doesn't really have that speed, so he'll just go between the tackles. And if he has to bounce outside, it's not like the greatest at that. And I guess in a way, he doesn't have the extra gear to him that I like to see. But that's like small concerns. The violent finisher part gets me and attracts me in a way a lot. He's an immediate impact guy. You put him in a downhill scheme to start his career, he is going to produce. Good receiver. You put him in the passing game, he's good there. But if he can get drafted to a team that has like a physical ground game, he's going to be really freaking good. 22 years old, 3 levels of great production in the ACC. To me, that just shows he's ready to be a serious player as a rookie. Especially in short yardage situations or in the red zone, he is just an immediate starter in both of those categories. And, by year 2, he's going to be someone that's going to also be a featured back as well. So I like Hampton. And then number 1 is Jeanty. Look, man, 5'9", 215. He's an explosive back, dude.
He led Boise State to the playoffs.
Yeah, it was literally on him. Like, sure, I guess some quarterback play was needed, but the Broncos were like, it's Jeanty, and that's all we got.
If you take him off Boise State, what did they do this year? 500, maybe a little better.
Yeah, 500, maybe worse, maybe better. Who knows? Like Jeanty was their whole offense, and you can tell by his awards that he was giving out. His this past year, unanimous All-American, Maxwell Award, Doak Walker Award, runner-up for Heisman.
It took something we've never seen before to beat Jeanty.
Jeanty, yeah. If it wasn't for Hunter, by far, winner, Jeanty. And Boise State would have been.
Which is crazy because that'd be probably the first time a non-Power 5 team has won a Heisman since the Cold War, early 50s.
That just shows how much or how good Jeanty was in 2024. He was just an outstanding back, man. Finished his career with over 4,700 rushing yards, 6.4 yards per carry, and 50 touchdowns rushing, and was the Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year in 2024. Elite contact balance, can shred tackles easily. We saw that multiple times during his time as a Bronco. Like, he was breaking tackles like it was nothing. Great vision.
No, I'm sorry. I did research into Heisman winners not to play in the Power 5, and the first one is Bo Jackson. played for Auburn, which is not a Power 5 school. What?
Nice job, Google. See, that's Google AI.
No, Auburn is very much a Power 5
Very
school.
much. They literally play in one of
the
the
best
toughest
one.
conferences.
Arguably
The best one. The SEC. Come on, Google, be better than man. Seriously.
All right, let's say we're trying to scroll through. Just keep going. So scroll through Wikipedia here.
Yeah, I got you. So Jeanty, elite vision, great elite burst, long speed. He can take it to the house like it's crazy how easy he looks, or how easy he makes it look. Honestly, just running the football. Great pass protector. He's a game breaker and has a workhorse capability. They gave him the ball 25, 30 times at Boise State during his, pretty much like every game it seemed like, and he took it, and he was really good. Now, the only con is that he's undersized, and he can sometimes struggle with ball security. And you mentioned the workload from earlier, so I don't want to repeat, that same or beat that same horse. But this is in a way, a generational back. He has this rare combo of elite vision and balance and playmaking, where it's like you don't really get that. It's not. I'm not saying it's like once in a blue moon, but like it doesn't come often. Last year's running back class was terrible.
Yeah.
So he's leading the way to kind of put running backs back in scouts' vision. It's like, yeah, you better draft us in round 1 because we are great talents. And he is leading that pack. Yeah. Has great anticipation. Acceleration is really good. You add that with his good receiving skills and great pass blocking, he will stay on that field. And immediate, out of all the backs in this draft, he is an immediate best 3-down starter. You put him in the system from day one, and you don't even look back. If you have guys behind him, it better be a freaking average veteran who can get a few carries here and there. But you put him on your team, you're giving him 20 carries a game.
Oh, yeah.
You trust that guy to produce. He'll be up for Rookie of the Year right away. I love him. I wish the Giants were good enough to where it's like we don't have a good running back and we can draft him and our offense will be even better. Yeah. We don't have that luxury. But, Raiders, Cowboys, if you're smart, those are just two teams that stand out to me that could use him and will be really good with him. So that is my list.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good one.
Any updates on the non-Power 5?
The last one is Ty Detmer. He was a BYU quarterback in 1990, back when BYU was in the WAC. He seems to be the last non-Power 5 player to win the Heisman. And then BYU became Power 5. So if you really, really want to be like technical about it, we'll have to go all the way back to 1958 when Pete Dawkins won for Army.
He's a running back?
He's a running back.
How good was he?
He was undrafted.
Wow. Well, hey.
Well, Pete Dawkins went on to be. He served in the military. He was a general during the Vietnam War. That's why he didn't play football.
Salute to that.
I was gonna say.
Salute to that, my friend.
He's like, instead of being a football player, I'll just go become a general real quick.
NFL who? Nah. Let me serve our country real quick, and he did a heck of a job.
Bro became a general. I don't know. Still fighting that one. It's kind of hard to argue. He did a good job.
I think the general 1-800-GENERAL now with the commercial with Shaq.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all right, but that is our running backs list. Hope you guys. I think it's one of the positions where it's hard to argue. I mean, you can interchange like 3 through 5 or whatever.
1 and 2 is pretty cemented.
You can
at least 1 is cemented.
Yeah, you can make the argument for Johnson at 2, but it's like, Hampton's a really good back for NC. So, yeah. Next week is wide receivers. That's gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 seems clear to me. I feel like.
Yeah.
Right, McMillan, Arizona.
Oh yeah.
Just to
was going in the top 5. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Patriots better jump on it if.
I don't know. The Patriots seem to be like wanting to attack the line.
They're so boring, man. That's why they're so behind.
I know, but that's how the Eagles won. Eagles built a great line. A lot of teams are going to follow that Eagles model.
Yeah, but the Eagles actually have talent. That way they can address the line. They have offensive talent already. They just address the line because they can. It's not like they're first-round linemen either. They're mid to late round dudes.
And they develop them
well. Was just, they sure do. I'll tell you that. All right. I will say free agency it starts next week, but man, the news that's come out already. I love football so much because of it. Joey Bosa, man, released from the Chargers. 2016 third overall pick, had a cap hit of more than $36 million heading into this year, but the Chargers were like, nah, we gotta save some money, so they cut him. They will save $25 million in cap space because of it. They had three options: to either release him, trade him, or ask him to take a pay cut. He did not want to take a pay cut. Couldn't find anyone to trade with, so they're like, all right, we'll just release him. Finishes with the second most sacks in franchise history. Had that big extension he signed after 2020, but just struggled after that in terms of his injuries. Played in just 28 out of 51 games from 2022 to 2024. Last year dealt with some back and hip pain and led to some nerve stuff as well in his side. And nerves are just not something you want to mess with at all. No. So he has struggled with injuries, but when on the field, he is very, very productive. So your thoughts on this, my friend? Off the top of your head, can you think of a team that might be a good fit for him? I think one of them stands out the most that plays in California still. But your thoughts on everything in terms of Bosa? This is a pretty big move.
It's a big move, but like you said, it's a nerve injury, and if you're going to pay $30 million to a guy with a major cap hit, you don't want to take chances. Like that's the kind of money. It's like, I need you to play 16 games or 17 games a season. And if that's going to be questioned, we have to move on for you. I don't care how good of a player you are. If you're not on the field, we have to do what's best for the organization, and let's move on.
Mm-hmm. And they're trying to save as much money as they can. I think the one that's up free agency. I'm sure they were hoping that T. Higgins would be available, but he was tagged.
I don't know how the Bengals cap makes no sense. They're not going to be able to keep all of them, especially when your defense needs major upgrades. Like, you're going to repeat of last season.
Mm-hmm. I think even though they tag Higgins, I don't think he's going to play for them. I think the frustration is there to the point where it's like, we'll talk about him in just a second, but I think just the Chargers were hoping to get Higgins or just hoping to get top.
They still can.
They still can. I think opening, they just released Bosa, and that saves up a lot of money. So they will have plenty of cap room to address the offense. Their O-line is good. Like, they're set in terms of protecting Herbert. It's just a matter of getting another receiver or maybe a running back. And just they need help on offense. Defensively, they will need to address that position, but hey, that's what the draft is for. Losing Bosa hurts, kind of leaves a hole in terms of their edge rusher position. I think Khalil Mack isn't set to return to them yet.
He's been rumored to leave too. I heard the Bears. He might have a reunion with the Bears, which I don't know. I kind of like.
I will say the Bears have been making moves. We'll talk about them too.
The Bears are sneakily the offseason winner so far. I love what they're doing.
Oh yeah, I think what they're doing has been outstanding. I will say that. I will say that. But yeah, Bosa. Look, man, playing with your brother don't seem too bad right now.
Nope.
Joey and Nick, bring back those Ohio State days.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll see. DK Metcalf. Now this one, I'm very intrigued. Same day yesterday that Tyler Lockett was released from the Seahawks. Metcalf has requested to be out. 27 years old, 64th overall pick in 2019. The former second-round pick has at least 900 yards in each season that he's played, including his best season in 2023, where he had 64 catches, 1,114 yards, and 8 tutties. Just had 5 touchdowns last year. It kind of felt like Jackson Smith and Jigba kind of took over as the best receiver for the Seahawks last year, and that I guess to me I see why he maybe wants out, but I don't know. It's a weird one because going into the season,
it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because like there was no even rumors that he was upset with the organization or anything.
I think to me, like the only reason why he could want to trade is because I guess they, JSN is breaking out, and maybe the team has talked with him or something where it's like, but it's weird because even the head coach Mike McDonald was like, yeah, we want Metcalf to be a focal point of this offense, and then Kubiak, the new OC, the reason why he came to Seattle was because Metcalf was here. It's so weird. I think it's something that's worth researching a little bit more into. It's just we haven't heard anything about it.
And the Seahawks apparently want a big return. They want at least a first and a third for him.
Yeah, you can take my first next year if I'm the Giants. You ain't taking mine this year.
I'm not. I'm not giving him a first round pick for Metcalf. I'll give him like Hyatt 2 seconds and
call it a day.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know. I would want him.
I would want him too. I think him next to Neighbors would be insane.
Whew, man, that's a great offensive.
But I'm not mortgaging the franchise for him. I can find a DK Metcalf.
Yeah, he's not this generational receiver. Like if he was a J Jets guy,
Calvin Johnson, Chase, probably about it.
Lamb, maybe if you really want to stretch the list a little bit.
Maybe. I think he's borderline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Metcalf is more of a tier 2 guy for me. So
yeah, definitely
I can
tier
see.
2.
Yeah, he was set to make his cap hit.
Here's the thing: are you building your fantasy lineup around DJ Metcalf? Yeah, you build your fantasy lineup around Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Some people do it with CeeDee Lamb and it works. I think it's more 50-50.
Yeah, I guess you could throw Amon on there, just tier 1 too.
I think he's a borderline guy again. I think he's really good, and I would be okay giving up a first round pick for him. He would just not. I would have to discuss it with myself. Like, do I really want to give this first for Amon-Ra?
Fair enough. I see it. So Metcalf his cap hit was is about to be 31.8 million. It's going to be the highest among all
doing
receivers.
A first round pick for that. Unless Seattle's going to eat all of that.
At least most of it. Yeah, at the very least, because that's a lot of money. He was originally third most in terms of cap hit, but then Devontae Adams got released, and then CeeDee Lamb had his contract restructured. Same thing with Dak Prescott, by the way, for the Cowboys. They restructured those 2 contracts to open up, I think, over $40 million in cap space. So
a lot of teams are going to do that. The Giants should do that. They should restructure like Banks and Thomas.
Anyone you can.
They would get like $20 million if they restructured Banks. Not Banks. Burns.
You should. You ask me. Shit. But
I think Brian Burns is good. I just don't think it's worth the money he is.
No, sir.
They're paying him like a top 5 defensive end, and he's probably like a top 15.
Had what, 8, 9 sacks last year?
Yeah, which good, but like he just wasn't the game wrecker we were expecting him to be.
Yeah.
He's so similar to Kayvon, where it's like he's good, he's gonna put up good numbers, but just he's not gonna be.
He's a better Kayvon. He's a better.
Yeah, he's a better Kayvon. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, could use someone opposite of him to help out, but I'm still grateful for Burns. Yeah.
Oh, I'm still hoping for Burns. I love him. I love Burns. I think he could be a really center point of this defense. I just think I think we went into last year thinking he was going to be, Michael Strahan-esque. And it's like, well, let's pump the brakes a little bit. And this is more just a really good version of Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah.
This is what we want Kayvon to become, is Brian Burns.
There you go. So, all right. Other news. Kind of just go through them. Higgins franchise tagged. Second time that T. Higgins is franchise tagged. This time it's in a year where Jamar Chase is on his 5th-year option. Well, the Bengals are screwed. Let's be honest. T. Higgins better than the other free agent receivers. So better than Chris Godwin, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, Hopkins, Adams, Amari Cooper. Younger than all of them too. Mm-hmm. Yet he's being treated like a bum by the Bengals. That sucks.
Well, when you have Jamar Chase ahead of you, it's like, sorry.
Yeah, but I think if you're Cincy, you better figure it out. You look at the Eagles, right? You pay your 2 top receivers, and look what that got you. I mean, both are very good contributors in your Super Bowl win against the Chiefs. I understand that they have other holes to address, especially the defense.
major
You
defense.
you got new DC though. But
Yeah, but like it's not going to be nothing. You give him no talent. He's not going to magically make the defense better.
That is correct. Sam Hubbard's gone. He just retired at age 29 for the Bengals. So you need pieces. So I get that, the franchise tag is why but it's just like there's a limit to where, like, if you franchise him this year, great. But you franchised him last year too. No one likes being on the franchise tag twice. No one likes that at all. So if I'm Higgins, I'd be pissed. I think Chase is pissed too, and I'm sure Joe Burrow's upset. So the Bengals better figure it out. But worst case scenario for them, you trade him.
Is there a scenario where like Joe Burrow gets upset? And like, this is like talking like 3-4 years down the line here. Does Joe Burrow get upset and demand trade or wants to leave?
I think it's possible.
I think there's an opening here.
Possible. Mm-hmm. I think
the way they mismanage.
Yes, they made the Super Bowl, but like it's to the point where like you see moves like this by your franchise, and it's like, damn.
But even the Super Bowl, the Bengals roster was still flawed. Like they've never had like a Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chief type roster where it's like, okay, this is a roster that's just good at every single position. It's always like the Bengals are a good team, but like their offensive line is going to stop them or their defense is going to hold them back. Like they've never just been like, no, this is a team that's going to be the first seed in the AFC.
Mm-hmm. It's always something with the Bengals. So yeah, we'll see if they figure it out, man. But worst case, you trade them if you're Cincy and you get something back, because at this point, I don't think anyone's happy with this. So
no,
Sam Darnold wasn't tagged, so the Vikings like to bring him back on a short-term deal of sorts. But
McCarthy wants it back too. And if I'm the Vikings, McCarthy wants it back, I'm bringing it back. Like that means he's got some sort of like mentor relationship with him. He's good for his development. Bring him in.
Yup, they better keep Daniel Jones too.
Yeah.
That quarterback room next year better be Darnold, McCarthy, and Jones. Jones needs to be in Minnesota.
Yeah, I can see that.
Unless, I heard the Colts are interested in Jones.
I could see the Raiders potentially being interested. Especially if they draft like a Shador. Like just, all right, we'll throw Jones out there for like a month or two, and then we'll bring in Shador.
Yeah, we'll see. But
especially after cutting Minshew.
Right. That's true. Yeah, Minshew. The Raiders thought he was good. Nope. That was...
Sorry, guys.
Sorry. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, yes. The Bears trading for Joe Thurney. Why didn't we go get him?
I thought the same thing when I saw that. Like, that should be something Joe Shane should have been after.
Man. 4th round, 2026. Like, that's nothing, man.
Nothing.
And Joe Thurney, he's a good guard, dude. He had the highest pass block win rate the past 2 years, according to some research I did. Like, that's a guard right there.
You want to beef up the line? That's the guy to go get. Especially if it's a 2026 fourth, that's nothing.
Yeah.
That's a bag of footballs.
That's nothing. They weren't even done. They also traded for Jonah Jackson from the Rams. Like, they have 2 solid guards now. Wait, Thurney's a tackle. Right? No. Yes. Yeah.
They got 2 good linemen to help Caleb Williams, which was a big problem last year, was that line had no time for Williams to do anything. Now he could actually let the play develop. Yeah.
Both that 2 guards, left guard, right guard, easily starters. You put them right in, and I think they're doing the right thing. Yes, they still need some help talent-wise on this team, but to get 2 guys that can protect Caleb Williams after what he went through his rookie year.
Yeah. They're showing Williams that, hey, we care about your development. We're giving you help. It might take a while before we get like a solid offensive line, but we're going out there and getting 2 really good pieces for you right now.
Justin Fields seeing the Bears do what they're doing for Williams, and he's
like come on!
What can I have that in Chicago? But yeah.
Now I gotta wait for Wilson to retire before I might get a starting job again.
It's like, am I even gonna be starting in Pittsburgh? Because I think if
I'm Pittsburgh, I roll with Fields over Wilson.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
I think if any team, you should be wanting Fields over Wilson just because of the age.
I agree. Yeah.
Also, maybe the Jets are pretty dysfunctional. I don't know a team that would like want to value Wilson over Fields right now.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
Trey Smith was put on the franchise tag by the Chiefs.
Sucks.
And then they're trying to prevent him from going.
I know that was the guy I wanted the Giants. That was probably like my number one target for the Giants was get this guy here, get him next to Nguyen and JMS, and maybe that helps the interior offensive line a little bit.
I think our next target is maybe Will Fries.
I think Will Fries is the guy. Yeah,
not a bad choice.
Will Fries and DJ Reed, I think, are the two guys. I think the Giants have to come away with on what, next Wednesday?
Yes.
Those are when we do this show a week from today, it's Will Fries and DJ Reed. Better be Giants.
Better be Giants. I really hope we get DJ Reed too. He'd be he's so good for the Jets. So
yeah.
Good.
And we saw it before. Like we stole Snacks Harrison for them and it worked out pretty well for us. Do it again. I loved Snacks. He was so much fun.
miss him.
He was fun.
I miss him. He was so good for us. He was like the Dexter Lawrence before Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah. He really was.
Kelsey's returning another year.
Great. Do you see the rumors about Taylor Swift and Kelsey potentially breaking up? Taylor Swift's family hates that Travis Kelsey is like bad for a brand because she got booed at the Super Bowl and they should break up.
I have an idea. Stop being annoying.
Exactly. Just don't make... All right, it's very simple. We won't boo you. Don't make yourself the center of attention at every event you go to.
Jeez. It's ridiculous, man.
You're Taylor Swift. You could go to the Chiefs like, hey, and you at CBS, but don't put me on the big board every single time.
She just pisses me off, man.
Mm-hmm.
And especially I heard after the Super Bowl, like Swiftie fans and Chiefs fans went to CJ Gardner Johnson's mom's restaurant Yelp page and started giving bad reviews.
That's the Swifties. Like, they're toxic people. They're horrific. The Swifties are one of the worst people on the face of the earth.
Terrible, man. It's like, we don't even know you like that. She'll never know you.
She would, if it meant her being more famous, she would kick you off a cliff and wouldn't even think twice about it.
That's what I'm saying. She gonna choose her album being like #1 for 2 years straight over what you think.
Fan. Yep.
Any fan. You could be wearing diapers like you mentioned in the past that Swiftie fans have done at concerts. She does not.
She could be like, that's weird. You're weird.
That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, if you gotta go to the freaking bathroom, go before.
If you concerts are pretty loud. You can hear the music when you're in the bathroom.
Exactly. You're missing. Okay. If you go quick enough, you'll be back in your spot in like 2 minutes.
Me and my buddy went to a Kenny Chesney concert, like outside on the water. We were outside and we had to go to the bathroom. So we went up to like a little forest area, went into the trees, and we were probably like 100 yards away and we could still hear them.
There you go. There's no excuse to be wearing diapers.
No.
At a concert. No excuse. Not at all. So, but yeah, Travis Kelsey, I talked about on this podcast. I was watching it yesterday, actually, during my shift.
Travis Kelsey, you'll never be him. I don't know if you can see. It's Paul Skeens.
Oh, right. Yes.
I had it on my desk.
So mature Skeens is, man. I love me some Paul Skeens.
You see the people making fun of Skeens and Livy Dunn? Because the SNL picture of Shane Gillis and Tate McRae. And they're like Livy Dunn and Paul Skeens in like 15 years. I'm like, that's mean. That's mean. That's not nice.
That's insulting to Shane Gillis.
It is.
By the way, outstanding job on SNL.
Oh, Shane Gillis was one of the best SNLs in the past 15. A Couple Beers might be one of the funniest skits of all time.
Not the funniest, I would say, but it was quite comedic. It was like, it's
a Couple Beers. When he said one of the side effects is drowsiness and just take a little bump and it was just a bag of cocaine. I'm like, that is so funny.
It was one heck of a skit, I will say that.
Yeah,
he's a funny dude, man. And then Tate McRae
when he's doing the like the children's show, and he's like, "Oh, mail's here. It's the worst time of the day. All right, kids, the word of the day is alimony. That was the word last week. Well, it's a pretty big part of my life."
Look, man, I that's the thing about SNL, man. As long as you have good actors like him, you're gonna be.
Yeah.
Ooh, excuse me. I need a couple beers myself.
Let's go. Was it what? That's 10 o'clock on the West Coast.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too early to drink, but
There's
hey,
no such thing as too early to drink.
Well, yeah, that's true. Tailgates. Oh man, those in the West Coast when the A's put. Oh, I'm sure it's gonna happen, of course, throughout the season here in Sacramento. But those 1 p.m. games. Oh man, I've seen tailgates
Bro,
at like
1 p.m.
9, 10
Giants games. We start drinking at 8:30 in the morning.
Whoo! Hey, that yeah, I guess you're right.
You don't remember the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you're right. You really don't, especially if you're losing.
Minnesota. What?
Yeah, week 1. Those crap ass uniforms that we'll never see again. Thank God. Matt Crosby coming back to the Raiders, highest paying on quarterback in the league. 3 years, 106. Well deserved indeed. 45 tackles last year, 7.5 sacks despite missing 5 games. Was 9th in pass rush win rate with 20%. Yeah, $91.5 million guaranteed on that 3-year extension. So props to him. Raiders keep him on their one of their key pieces on that defense. Just saying, Bosa and Crosby, opposite of each other. Would it be bad if I'm Vegas?
No, would not be. Be a pretty good 1-2 punch. And it takes a little pressure off Bosa, so like maybe he can get healthier.
There you go. And then Zach Bond, great season for the Eagles last year, and was re-signed to a 3-year, $51 million deal.
I mean, we all saw that coming.
Yes, sir. And then Saquon Barkley got extended as well. Just 1 year into his deal, got extended. So
I mean, makes sense.
Yeah, I'd pay him too from the Eagles. Saquon Barkley, man.
This is still 50-50 though, because if he pulls Saquon Barkley, like we know, the track record doesn't suggest that this is sustainable.
That is true. But when you get to run behind a great offensive line and a quarterback that has shown he can sling it pretty damn good.
Yep.
Not a bad move. But now we move on to us.
Do we have to?
Unfortunately, we do. We re-signed a player.
Wow.
Our long snapper. Yay. 2-year deal, I think. Casey Creeder. Team captain, Casey Creeder.
Before this, did you even know the long snapper's name?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I'm a freaking no-life Giants fan. So I'm reading articles at 3 a.m. to figure out what the heck we're doing. I know he came from Denver. But, like, really? You expect me to know everything about a freaking long... I don't know where he went to college, if that's something.
No idea.
I'm so grumpy today, dude. I don't know. Really? Like, what? Our headliner was this, bro? And then you pair that up with Okereke possibly getting cut. So, basically, as you know, and if you guys don't know out there listening to this, there are rumblings that the Giants brass does not have a high opinion on linebacker Bobby Okereke. And apparently, if we release him, it only saves $4 million. So here's the thing. Don't freaking release him, okay? He had one possibly bad year in a stupid-ass system with Shane Bowen, who is, you guessed it, trash.
A lot of guys step back from Shane Bowen's system. A lot of guys regress.
Okay, look. When there's coaches out there that are looking to get hired, there's a reason why sometimes that they don't have a freaking job. There's a reason why Tennessee was not crying when Bowen left. Heck, my best friend, shout out to Josh, he's a big Titans fan. Pretty much the only Titans fan I know. And when we hired Shane Bowen, he was like, yay. And I'm like, what do you mean? Yay. And he's like, he's not good. And I'm like, yeah, but like he's good in red zone defense. That's the only thing.
There's other part of defense than just the red zone. There's like everything else.
Yeah, like, bro, there's other things that are good with the red zone, Nate, or other than the red zone defense, Nate. And I'm like, yeah, but just wait. Like, that was just my optimistic stuff I'm talking. freaking, he sucks, man. What was his defense again? It was like man to man.
Man to man. It
Depend
was
on
similar to Winks, but in a weird way.
Winks was so much better.
I'm saying
Oh
Winks was
man,
much better, but like I remember people were like, "Oh, this is gonna be." It's similar to Winks' defense, but isn't exactly Winks' defense. Like, okay, that will at least like make guys like Banks. Oh, at least there might be some regression, some step back, but it should be horrific. It was horrific.
the Safeway version of Wink Martindale's defense was what Bowen's was. The cheap version, the great value version.
Yeah, yeah. It's like Wink Martindale is like Nike, and like Shane Bowens is like the and one Walmart brand.
I'm telling you. Look, I don't know how true the report is, but if it is true, we're gonna be a pissed Giants fan this offseason. Okay. Who are you gonna get to replace him? Like, freaking, you release him, bro. The Colts have a chance to correct their mistake and get it back.
Pretty much.
You don't let go of your best linebacker you've had in years. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I miss John Beeson. All right, like he was good for us. Like,
like on any other team, he's not good.
Yeah,
John Beeson was like a gold piece of garbage. You know the meme of like all the garbage bags and it's like the gold piece of garbage in the middle. That was John Beeson. He's still trash, but like he's just the best.
He was pretty good. Yeah, I love Beeson. He was good. I
love Beeson too. He's great.
I know you do. Yeah.
but like,
yeah,
as an NFL fan, like, all right, let's be honest, he's not that good.
Yeah, you don't let Okereke go. You better not. So that report better be false, or you figure out what you're doing. You do not. You burn out. He was a team captain too, so he was a respected team leader in that locker room. So you better not. And I swear, Joe Shane, you do this shit, I will. Oh man, my liking for you will fall. And it's not like I love Okereke. Like, okay, I like him, but I'm not like in love with him. Like, he's not one of my favorite players, but like I know how important he is to his defense. That's how much I love him. I know that. So, Joe Shane, don't do it. You better not release anyone that's good.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Okay? You better pick up people and draft people correctly. So, a report came out also from the Giants that we're checking on receiver Joshua Palmer because Darius Slayton is likely on his way out, so we're checking on Joshua Palmer. I tell you what, you pick up Josh Palmer, we riot.
Yeah.
like, I'd rather keep Darius freaking Slayton, bro. Jesus, man. Like, what has Josh Palmer done for the Chargers? Well, I heard his name probably like twice last year, and that was like for putting up like 4 catches for like 60 yards. Come on, bro. You better not get Josh Palmer, I swear to God. Giants have also checked on Sam Darnold and Russell Wilson as quarterback options. That's fine. And then finally, 2 more things. Finally, Shadur Sanders, Cam Ward, and Jackson Dart. Those were the top 3 picks according to Charles Davis in his recent mock drafts. And who's at 3? The Giants. Because he's saying that, if the first 2 quarterbacks are off the board, that you can't risk letting another one slip out and not go to the second round, so you go get Jackson Dart. I tell you, we get Jackson Dart 3rd overall.
That's Daniel Jones 2.0 right there.
My fandom will be very questioned. I will have no hope for this team if we get Dart 3rd overall. So that's how far I'll go.
Yeah.
And then this is where I want to get your true opinion on this. Do you feel like the Giants were always interested in Ward, but like kind of kept it low key?
Yeah. I think so because you could say I think they were interested in both quarterbacks. I think they fell in love with Ward later on than they expected to. I think going to Colorado was more of a smokescreen, and they're like, "Hey, we really like Ward, but like we're just not looking at him yet." And when they finally had the opportunity, I think like, "Okay, Ward's their guy."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like throughout the season, like we saw those Colorado tapes or Colorado video. My apologies of Shane at Colorado, and that got me excited. I was like,
"Yeah." Well, I think that comes from the fact because there was the rumors that if Sanders went out last year, he was going to be the Giants' 2nd or 3rd round pick. So like, okay, we already like Sanders. Let's go look at him some more. And then Ward came around. It's like, actually, we like Ward better now. That's where I think it comes from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's it called? There's a report from The Athletic. The Giants front office showed legitimate interest in Shedeur Sanders during the season, with Joe Schoen attending at least 2 Colorado games and making another visit with top brass to a practice late in the year. The interest in Sanders compared to Ward may was amplified that when it comes to Colorado, and let's be honest, we've seen whether it's on YouTube with Deion Sanders Jr.'s videos on YouTube to, Deion Sanders documentary that's on Amazon Prime to there was so much attention that was shown with Colorado through, social media and whatever. That's how, we were able to see Joe Schoen with Colorado.
Yeah.
What we don't know is that Joe Schoen attended 3 Miami games throughout the season as well, to less fanfare. He also attended a Miami practice before scouting the Miami Bowl game, according to a league source. The sense from a Miami source, is that Cam Ward made a strong impression on Joe Schoen. Now, that was news because I was like, yeah, he went to 3 Colorado games. I didn't know he went to the Miami. I'm sure he went to Miami game.
I'm sure he went to Ole Miss games. I'm sure he went to, Notre Dame
games. It's not a surprise.
Ohio State games.
Yeah, it's not like he's doing his due diligence, but
yeah,
3
Miami games is a lot. That means he saw something.
He saw something in him, and look, if we traded for the number 1 spot and get Cam Ward, I'm ecstatic. Because like we had him last year, he is the last week. My apologies. He's the best quarterback in the draft.
Yeah.
What I love Sanders, his name is great, but talent-wise, Cam Ward is just so much better. And it's no knock on Sanders, man. It's just Ward is just that talented of a guy.
Oh yeah.
So, overall, we'll see what happens with New York, but so far, depressing news, to say the least, come out of free agency for the Giants. So, anything else on that by chance before we move on to our top 5 list?
Not much. No, just I think Ward's the guy. I think Ward's the guy to trade up for. I really want to trade up now.
Yeah, me too. Whatever it takes. Not too much. Whatever it takes.
Smartly.
Smartly.
Don't mortgage the future for him. But if you're gonna do the first and 2/3, do it in a heartbeat.
There you go. Jordan Renan also real quick predicts the Giants to sign DJ Reed.
Awesome.
Predicted contract is 4 years, $72 million. Yes.
Yes.
Or
that's
no?
Good.
Fantastic.
So what? That's 72 divided by 4. That's $18 million a year. So what? His cap hit's going to be nothing crazy. Then it's going to be signing bonus and guaranteed money. I would say 6 or 7 million is probably his cap hit.
Yeah, something like it. Yeah, going through the thing here. Yeah. Also, the Browns restructured Deshaun Watson's contract. Create $36 million cap space.
They should just cut Deshaun Watson. That's how you restructured Deshaun Watson's contract. You get rid of him.
Well, they paid most of the contract, apparently. So right now, all that's left this year is the minimum salary and then $46 million in 2026 that they have to pay him. So, good job, Browns. All right. Top. I know, man. It's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah. I don't know.
What a miserable franchise they are.
They really are, man.
We're bad, but at least we saw a Super Bowl in our lifetime. 2,
That's
actually.
What I'm saying. So, all right. The fun stuff, sir. Top 5 people we want to buy 10% of the Giants because, as we discussed last week, 10% of the Giants' stake is available for sale. So, we have a list. Top 5 list is back. Brian, who do you got, my man? Who's 5 people you want to buy New York?
Number 5, best Giant of all time, Lawrence Taylor. I think if you saw what Lawrence Taylor did, when the Giants were bad in the 60s and 70s, it all turned around when they drafted Lawrence Taylor in 1982, I want to say. That's when they drafted Lawrence Taylor. Similar thing here. Giants are bad for the 2010s and 2020s. You bring in Lawrence Taylor. It might do the same thing it did back in the 80s to project us back to winning. Number 4, My guy, Steve Cohen. We saw what he's done with the Mets so far. He's got unlimited money. Even if it's just building good infrastructure for the Giants, like upgrade MetLife Stadium, upgrading the training facility, upgrading the turf so everyone's tearing their ACLs 24/7. That is exactly what we want Steve Cohen to do. Number 3 is John Taffer. I've been watching a lot of Bar Rescue recently for some reason, and he goes into these bars and calls out the bar owners for all their BS. I think he did the same thing with John Mara, and I would love to watch it. I think you just go in there and just start yelling at him. Now that's why I want him. Number 2 is Bill Pullman. He played the president on Independence Day, which is, I think, the greatest portrayal of an American president in film history. That speech before they go blow up aliens is, I think, one of the best scenes in movie history. If you've not seen it, go on YouTube and watch it right now. I swear to God, you will not be disappointed. You will be very patriotic after that. I think you go in there, hype the Giants up every Sunday, and that'll get us to win. And number 1, I got the Pope, because the Giants are so bad that maybe we need some divine intervention on our side. And if we got the Pope, maybe God will sprinkle some magic down on us and we'll start winning games again.
Man said the freaking Pope. My God.
You're
creative in this one.
Everything, all right? Maybe let's try some divine intervention on this stuff.
We've tried everything. All right.
Shout out to the Pope. Hopefully he gets better soon.
Yes, that's right. The Pope is dealing with some stuff. But yes, prayers. Hopefully he feels better and all the things. All right. Number 5. Tracy Morgan. Avid Giants fan.
Good one.
Funny as heck. Why not? It's a simple list for me. Let's be honest.
Yeah. It's not stupidity.
Oh no, you're not supposed to stupid at all.
It was. You could say
it was comedic. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Number 4, Spike Lee, avid Knicks fan. Hey, you got the money, Spike. Why not buy the Giants, man? Get yourself some sideline seats or something. He cares about his sports teams, and I feel like he'll have a good say in the Giants roster and team as a whole because he cares.
Yeah.
Unlike some people. Let's be honest. Number 3, I didn't know he was a Giants fan. Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, you know Harry Potter was a Giants fan?
I did not know Harry Potter was a Giants fan. I tell you that. I would want him to own part of the Giants. Maybe do some wizardry or something. Maybe turn his team into a good one. Who knows? Number 2, Sabrina Carpenter. Because, hey, let's be honest. I know it's probably not going to happen. But, hey, listen. The Bills got Haley Steinfeld. The Chiefs had Taylor Swift. And you mentioned this before, so I'm just...
I was going to say, I said this before. I wanted Tommy DeVito to date Sabrina Carpenter.
As I'm saying, why not have Sabrina Carpenter own some of the Giants? Give her good charm, her good luck to the team. She's having a lot of success right now, and maybe she's into football a little bit. No? Why not?
Bro, Sabrina Carpenter's watching this game right now. Everyone look competent, all right?
That's
we got a shot.
Look our Sunday best. You know what I'm talking about? So,
yeah.
And then number 1 for me is Eli Manning. Let's be honest.
I mean, he's the favorite, if we're being honest.
QB1 in my heart forever. First player I ever fell in love with as a football fan. He was everything for me growing up as a Giants fan. You know, he's the reason why every season we had hope because he was our starting quarterback. Knows the team more than anyone that I've mentioned and anyone that you mentioned on your list.
Yeah, besides Mara himself.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mara knows everything because he's been there for everything. That's the only reason why he knows everything.
And Eli would actually help turn their franchise around and help find that next quarterback in terms of
what Brady's doing for the Raiders right now. Very similar. Yeah.
Yes. So, but yeah, that's my 5. So
good 5.
Yeah, number 2 is my favorite. Well, number 1 is too, but number 2 is. She is amazing, man. I love her songs, bro. Her songs get me through work for sure. So, but that will do it.
You know, she dated Gabe from Good Luck Charlie. Did not know that. Charlie announced it the other day. Oh yeah, Bradley and Sabrina Carpenter dated. I'm like, shout out Gabe. What a guy,
man. He be pulling when he was young. I'm just
He's
playing,
doing
but-
well. He's got a podcast now with
right.
Fletcher from Ant Farm. They're bringing all the old Disney Channel stars.
All the Disney.
He's
good,
doing well
man.
for himself.
I like that.
He's so well for a child actor.
I like that.
Unlike Nickelodeon, which is just an absolute oof.
Yeah, that's a mess over there to deal with. So, but yes, that will do it for episode 65. It was a bit of a long one, but always have fun doing this. We had a running back rankings today. Talked about early free agency moves. Next week's going to be hectic for sure, to say the least. I'm sure. And then the Giants with their depressing news. But at least we did a top 5 list, so that was fun. Other than that, the Giants, you still suck. Figure it out. You can follow us on social media at Brian PG1016. You can follow me and Nathan _Nguyen24. And you can follow our podcast page at 3rd and 10 Pod on Twitter /X, Instagram, and at TikTok.
The talk.
Next week, AL and NL Central predictions. Probably the most depressing one. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm just waiting until next week, the week after, because the NL East, that's gonna be all you. I swear to God, we're gonna spend like 30 minutes on the Mets. I already know.
I said a whole show on the Mets.
We should honestly, for you should lead the way for that show for an episode one day. It's just the all Mets episode.
Maybe that's like a day like you're gonna be out and it's gonna be like the middle of July. It's like, all right, today we're just gonna talk about the Mets for 48 minutes.
I know. I'll be like, Brian, I'm calling in sick. I'm calling in sick, Brian. No worries, Nate. I got this.
Don't worry, I got this.
Hey guys, welcome to the 3rd and 10 Podcast. I'm Brian and Tim. We're talking about the Mets.
Nate's out, so I'm running the show. You go and I'll deal with it.
I think we might do that. Maybe like the day before opening day. Just get everything about the Mets off your chest. Finalizing moves, opening day, rotation. We'll think about it.
We'll figure it out.
But yeah, so AL Central on Tuesday. And then the wide receiver receiver rankings for the draft on Thursday. And maybe, just maybe, in between that, the Giants will do something to make us happy.
Hopefully.
We'll see. Yeah. So far, rough start. But for Brian, I'm Nate. Thank you guys so much as always for your support. We see it, we appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Until then.